Today on Universe B, we walk the labyrinthine circuit at the heart of human experience to the central flame of profound desire, a deep-seated yearning to overcome the deficiencies and mundane contours of daily life. Is it a longing for unity, mastery, and a noble aim in life which connects with something greater than ourselves? How do we unite with the power to be ourselves, to give of ourselves and surrender ourselves to a greater calling? Many hear this call in the concussion of shock, of cataclysmic loss or devastating illness. Or it strikes completely out of the blue, a confounding paradox which rattles and reveals the cage one has built for themselves. The heart's response is a desire to see through to the truth, to turn within and go beyond the cloister of habitual reactions and social fetishes. It is this intrinsic desire, this secret fire that has enlivened esoteric traditions across time and culture, driving countless seekers on their journeys for knowledge, spiritual competence, and surrender. Two such traditions, each in plain sight, yet most often misapprehended by non-practitioners, offer compelling pathways to empowerment and transcendence, each with its almost deterministic experiential approach and wisdom: Sethian Gnosticism and Theravadin Buddhism. Each tradition recognizes the inherent limitations of our common perceptions and language usage, eschewing our shallow understanding and social conventions, that what we see and experience daily by convention is but a dream. Beginning at the recognition that the world was not created for us, a dagger point of conscious suffering pressed into the breast, we seek less mediated, more direct experiences emerging from interconnectedness and interdependence, where the liminal reifies by way of sobriety and dissolution. Sethian Gnosticism emerged as an early syncretic Christian mystical and theurgical movement in a cultural milieu of Egyptian magical materialism, Neoplatonic naturalism, Hebraic baptismal practices, and Persian astrological influences. Operant Gnostics emphasized the pursuit of knowledge of one's emanation, a direct recognition of the true elements of one's experience, be it of the body, feeling, or mind, as a solution by way of engagement with the profundity of life's obstacles. This knowledge is not merely cognitive appraisal, it is a deeply experiential, intuitive understanding that changes one's very comprehension of the meaning of one's being and existence. The lightning flash of Gnosis is a transformative awakening to reality that permeates one's thinking, feeling, and behavior, an encounter that shifts our perception and understanding of the world. For when one sees the interdependent nature of their origination, they begin to understand their impermanence is partial to their inextricable unity with reality. Such a person knows their emanation and their true nature directly. They know what they are, but more essentially, what they are not. And how could it be otherwise? Praxis begins with purification, then ongoing cultivation produces a breakthrough illumination. While the forms of rites and performatory gestures change due to place and circumstance, the underlying meditative process of metanoia and nepsis remains essentially unchanged. Purification involves ritual cleansing and the applied meditative art of dualism, essentially the psycho-spiritual task of stilling oneself long enough for a psychological separation of mental elements to occur. Illumination following catharsis initiates a deeper form of investigation called theoria. Theoria is the stage of working where insights and understanding sprout fresh and vigorously after the previous incubation. Seeing the world in a new light, the Gnostic is said to clearly perceive the streams of hyle or matter, and psyche or mind. Union, or Gnosis, is the final stage, where the seeker disappears within the interdependent nature of self and other as the living fullness. Now, these stages represent a progressive unveiling of truth and a lifestyle of creativity and investigation. The dissolution of shame, anxiety, and desperation in the face of an overwhelming existence attends the liberation from compulsive conceptualization and reactivity. Theravada Buddhism offers a parallel path to liberation from suffering, a path that is both practical and profound. This path, known as the Noble Eightfold Path, emphasizes ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. much like the Gnostic purification, illumination, and insight. Ethical conduct involves living a life of integrity and compassion, creating a foundation for spiritual growth by eliminating the agitating and reaction-inducing elements of daily life. Mental discipline trains the mind through practices like sustained awareness of the in and out breath, developing clarity and unity of consciousness as well as developing trance states. Wisdom is the culmination of this path, a deep understanding of the true nature of reality as it is, arising and passing, and the nature of dependent origination. Through rigorous self-observation and extinction of mental clinging, insight meditation practice seeks to eradicate the deep root causes of suffering, ignorance, attachment, and aversion. When we let go of our clinging, we awaken to the true nature of reality, characterized by impermanence, interconnectedness, and what might be described as corelessness. While arising from distinct historical and cultural contexts, Sethian Gnosis and Theravada Buddhism share a common goal: the pursuit of liberation from painful patterns and a cure for the causes of suffering through direct experiential knowledge of reality in the body-mind. Initiates of each tradition emphasize the importance of rigorous inner work balanced with community engagement, recognizing that no one, no God, no angels, no prophet, no teacher, no family member or friend, no one other than you is coming to save you. The beginning of practice is starting where you are without pretense, posturing, projecting, or promoting a private wish list. The descent to reality begins when we stop pretending to know what we do not know. We cease to assert as true that which we do not know to be true. Likewise, the ascent to spiritual liberation begins by learning to shift attention. This shift is not always dramatic. It can be as subtle as attending the sensations of breathing or a moment of clear observation. In Sethian Gnosticism, recognition of the initial change is called metanoia, a change of mind by way of turning within. This is followed by the discipline of nepsis, or wakeful watching at the door of the heart, a practice of relaxed vigilance. Nepsis cultivates a focused and discerning observer attention, a non-judgmental and unattached watcher of thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise and pass within the body-mind. As one develops the knack, the practice erodes the distortions of bias and preconception to reveal the essence of the mind, also known as the Gnostic Mother-Father, Barbelo. In the Buddhist tradition, meditative absorption is cultivated through the practice of samadhi. In samadhi, the mind becomes free from distractions and mental chatter, allowing for the profound experience of unification of the mind. Unification develops further into tranquility and indistractable equilibrium. Establishing the foundations of mindfulness and mental poise then stabilizes the mind in wholesome conditions of detachment. And yet even these direct experiences are not free from scrutiny and investigation. After all, exploring and understanding our own experiences is grist for the mill, is it not so? We must think for ourselves. Our initial efforts on the practical journey are about laying the groundwork for genuine transformation and spiritual growth. And that means cultivating the mind through self-honesty, investigation, and bathing in the tranquility of concentration. As we wake from compulsive behaviors and reactionary mental patterns, we find ourselves acting from an inner stillness and clarity. A vantage point emerges, and one glimpses through the oppressing veil of self-concern. Our initial taste of truth can be devastating, yet that devastation of the status quo beckons us to deeper commitment to end the manias of our inner world. In Gnostic meditative praxis, this stage of contemplation is known as theoria. Here, the effort to mirror and dissolve the archons that operate behind the personae is further extended in practical terms. Theoria is the arduous work of stabilizing realization in the wake-a-day world. Spilling the banks of discursive thought, the practice directs attention toward the observation of the four luminaries within oneself. These luminaries, or faustas, are the brute facts of the inner mind, as it is rather than as we wish it. To see and know in the light of the luminaries is to see the conditional arising of body, feeling and mind. This discernment and detachment permits for the mystery of the sacred to let go of our clinging pattern, to let go of the Hyle and Psyche streams altogether and recognize the ever-presence of Pneuma. Vipassana meditation is insight practice. It involves paying close attention to the reality of mind-body experience in the present moment. Observing the ever-changing flow of our experience with a calm and focused mind, we directly experience the transient nature of our thoughts, perceptions, and emotions. Through consistent practice, repeated exposures, as it were, Vipassana peels away layers of conditioning and limiting beliefs. This process of shedding is gradual and requires patience and perseverance. By cultivating insight, we plant the seeds of awakening. These seeds, nurtured by dedicated practice, will eventually blossom into the fruits of wisdom and liberation. This blossoming is a testament to the power of consistent practice and the transformative potential of inner work. As such, Theoria and Vipassana invite us to become intimately familiar with the workings of our own minds. This familiarity is the foundation of the type of self-awareness and self-understanding necessary to integrate and transcend our ignorance. In Theoria, one begins by observing the streams of Hyle and Psyche. This means looking inward at the body-mind. The body is Hyle, a stream of transforming physical elements. The mind is Psyche, a stream of transforming mental elements. In the practice of Satipatthana, one attends to the meditation objects, which are body, feelings, mental states, and mental contents. For a connoisseur of techniques, the common factors in methodologies are astounding, energizing, and fascinating. In both traditions, we learn how, secluding the mind from thought, we see nature as it is. We catch glimpses of the interconnectedness and interdependence of all things. This awareness brims with compassion, helping us to see ourselves as part of a larger whole. The journey is then not about escaping from the world or the forces which construct it, but about seeing it and responding with greater clarity, competence, and understanding. It is about embracing the world and its suffering and death with an understanding heart and a clear mind. Through insight practices like Theoria and Vipassana, we overcome the hindrances of our minds, unleashing patience, resolve, creativity, and intelligence. Seeing the conditional nature of all things, we know our emanation by experience, thus freed from fear, from anger, from mental passivity and reactivity. As we continue on this journey, we refine our attunement to the subtle currents of wisdom and change that flow through our lives. Guided by insight, we open to a deeper gratitude and understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This has been an essay from Universe B.